Hi. So I want to talk about how when the hoover attempts start to dissipate and flatten out and level off and go away, that's another huge test. Huge. I just went through this. I haven't read much about this, so I wanted to tell you what happened to me. So you're going along fine in no contact. You think you're doing great, and then the hoover comes in like a thunderstorm. Rains down on you for 2 weeks or 2 days or whatever it is, right? That's a test. And then you remain. You do it. You maintain through it. You don't answer, you don't text back, you do it, right? You're good. When the hoover starts to dissipate, I found myself checking my phone. Checking my phone. Oh, pardon me. Yes. You're looking at it and you're going, where'd he go? Or she, whatever your pronoun is. Where'd he go? You just made it through the most massive thunderstorm of hoover ever, and now you're wondering where he went. I'll tell you why. It's a whole cycle. They still get you. That's why I think they tell you to block, because then they can't take you on this roller coaster of emotion. Because even though we don't want to admit it or say it, I think that when you get a hoover, it's validating in some way, because you convince yourself that they miss you, and of course all the experts say it's nothing to do with us. They're trying to get supply, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. When the hoover attempt started to dissipate and I started to check my phone, I checked myself. I said, whoa, Renee, what are you doing? What's happening right now to you? This is what I think happens. I wrote some things down because I don't want to. It's like they can still give you the feeling of abuse, the up and the down, even when they're nowhere near you. Because when they stop, it was in that I started to crave a chat. Because that's when you want your closure words. Why are you stopping? Think about when you've broken up, last hoover attempts, if you did fold, and then they left out of town again, whatever. There's always some words exchanged. When you're going no contact and you didn't answer the hoover, and then the hoover stops, there's no point at which you can go, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? What? Right? So you don't get that. You don't get any of that. You just have to let it stop. It's weird. So here's what I think happened. In my brain, I think it was like you're being let down again in a way, right? Because hoover stops and you think, oh, all right, so they're done. So I'm being let down again, I guess. And that causes those sad chemicals, perhaps. And so to balance those, I craved the good chemicals, and the urge to reach out and receive the hoover is automatic to try to capture the good that would be if you listen to him try to explain and plead for a while. I wrote that down. And not beg. I didn't write beg. This isn't about you want to hear him beg. But it's not about the begging. It's about the imagined validation that we think we'd get from listening to words we've always wanted to hear, I think. Right? So the hoover attempt stops, and we know with all of our education the words don't mean anything, which is why you remained with the hoover stage. But still somehow we imagine that it might satisfy us if we get some kind of soothing words. And the addiction is triggered, which is why we stay away from the hoover, right? The addiction is triggered. The month I realized or so, whatever it is, like that you go no contact, if they're not, that there's no trigger and it's not easy, but you're trucking along. The first trigger is when they start to hoover you. The other trigger is when they stop hoovering you. Please beware of it. Be on the lookout for it. It's a feeling you get. And you're like, whoa, they just stopped. Then that makes you want to reach out to them. To them. And you find yourself craving a chat. I just wanted you to be aware because it's powerful. It's powerful. And there's a lot about no contact and hoover and don't answer and whatever. I kind of don't give black and white advice, and I don't want to beat you up for having a bag of potato chips on your diet. I don't. If you happen to have a moment where you spoke to, get back on track, but please don't beat yourself up about it. A lot of the things I see in here, they refer to no contact like it's an alcoholic with a drink. If you take one drink, like you're off the wagon. Which I understand the steady diet of no contact and the reason for it, because I just went through it. I was triggered with all kinds of, like, he's leaving me messages and he's sending me pictures and he's trying to, you know, blah, 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 blah. Thunderstorm, thunderstorm, thunderstorm of love bombing, and mine is good at the love bombing. Oh yeah, big strong man cries and everything. It's tough. But I wasn't prepared. I was just waiting for the hoover to stop, because the thunderstorm always goes back out to sea if it's a narcissist, right? If you have somebody that's hoovering you, well, we wouldn't use the word hoover, just courting you, trying to get you back for 6 months straight on a steady diet and consistency, then that's probably not a narcissist. The narcissist hoover attempts, they always go back out to sea. The storm always leaves. And they go about their business. That is a trigger, and I'm here to I wasn't prepared for it. I was like, looking at my phone? It's been months and months. Yeah, it can make you feel like, oh, they stopped. Of course, I was wrong. It didn't stop. But when it started to lift, I found myself checking. Please watch yourself and be prepared for that feeling. And think about what I said. I think it's the sad, like the cycle we talked about. The sad chemicals are happening, so you crave the good chemicals to balance it out. You think the good chemicals are going to happen if you reach out and get something from the person, some kind of words. We know what that is. That's a rabbit hole. I just want you to be prepared. It is tough when it starts to leave. It's another trigger. Please be aware. Okay.